right, all right. All right, welcome everybody. As you come on, just let us know where you're from. Just sign in. Let's get rolling. All right. Hey Denise, how are you? Shannon from Massachusetts. And if this is your first time on, please indicate, let me know. Hey Shannon. Hey Debbie from Wisconsin. There's Janaya from North Carolina. If you're a first timer, there's Chloe from Atlanta. All right. Please, if this is your first time, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know this is your first time on our live call. Okay, Wendy, this is not your first time. This is not your first time on this call. But if there's anyone else, all right, Debbie, it's a pleasure. Pleasure to have you. All right, Janaya. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's good to have you as well. All right. Okay. All right. For those of you guys who are the first timer, let me give you just a little update as to what's going on, or rather just some information. Hi, Shelly. We are. This is the only known app that I know of that goes live on a weekly basis. Right inside the app, you can interact. You can talk back to me, and we'll have these conversations on a weekly basis. I need you to tell your friends, tell your family. Hi, Chandra, first time from Michigan. Awesome. I got some business that I'm doing in Michigan. I love it. Are you in Detroit or are you? I went to school up near Berrien Springs, near Notre Dame, not too far from it. Okay, but at any rate, if you're on for the first time, Grand Rapids. Okay, great. If you're on for the first time, this is the only app of its kind that can do this. Where we do this, we go online, we talk to people, you talk back via text, and we handle real issues. Now, I came online, I was on IG, and I talked to some people. You responded, telling you about some things that we're doing. Some of the things that we're doing is we're going to be starting a podcast. And I've shared that with you before. It's on its way. It's about to start. It just takes a lot to do it and do it right. So we're going to be starting that podcast. Hey, Sunshine. And we want to handle some of the issues and some of the challenges that you deal with on a daily basis. I don't want to just talk about fluff. I don't want to talk about mess. I want to talk about something that's real and something that you can actually sink your teeth into that's going to have some transformative effect in your life. Okay, so that's the reason that we've been doing the IGs and the emails, trying to make sure that we're giving you exactly what you need, and not just clickbait. Not doing that. Okay. Now here's the rules. As we speak, please, you have a chance to respond. If you have questions, give me your questions. If you have concerns, if you have comments, put them out there. We will address them in real time. Okay, we'll address them in real time. But what we're doing right now is we're going to finish up last week about stonewalling, or rather about the silent treatment. I mentioned stonewall. They kind of revealed my hand a little bit. Because last week we talked about the silent treatment. Is it toxic or is it a boundary? And I know the notification gave you a different topic. We're going to handle that a little later. But we wanted to go part 2 from last week, talking about the silent treatment. Every couple that I know of, every couple that has any kind of communication experiences this. Everyone experiences the silent treatment at one point or another. We want to talk about what it is, how it works, and why it's so detrimental. please, if you have comments, write them in your text. If you have questions, write them in your text. If you want to know more, let me know that. Let me know that. And we talked last week about, the trap of the silent treatment is that, we've gotten so good at doing it sometimes that what silence does is that it bars the other person from getting information from you and from working towards resolution. Okay? And we couch it in these phrases like I'm protecting my peace and all this other crap. And it's not. It's not. It's dangerous to your relationship. Hey, Candace Gore, how are you? Good to have you on. So what we want to do is we're going to move on further. A lot of you last week said we need to do a part 2, and I'm answering your request here for our part 2. So what we want to do this week is we want to go a little bit further and get a little deeper into this whole thing about silent treatment. The thing is that we all do it. We all do it. And you know it. Some of you, we've gone to bed silent. We haven't said anything, go 2-3 days without saying a word. We talked about this last week. And then when finally somebody asks you something, you'll say, well, if you don't know why I'm silent, then I'm not going to tell you. Well, then there will be no resolution because no one can read anyone's mind. But we play these games, and here is the issue. Because what I really want to talk to you tonight is that you're not giving, most of us, you're not giving the silent treatment because you're cruel. That's not why you're doing it. You're giving the silent treatment because you don't have the tools to name what the problem actually is. All right, here's what Chloe says. Yeah, the need for space needs to be communicated in a respectful, healthy way. Abrupt silence is weaponizing communication. You are absolutely right. The girl sounds like she knows what she's talking about. You're absolutely right. The need for space, it needs to be, and we talked about last week how important it is to communicate your silence. Silence is not always a bad thing. Sometimes you need to step away for a minute. You just have to communicate silence. Silence should never be guessed. Your partner should never have to guess why you're silent. Okay, that's when it's weaponization. But when you communicate, I need 30 minutes, I will be back. When you make that thing clear, now you have effective communication. Nothing wrong with silence. There's something wrong with uncommunicated silence. Okay, so the thing, as I was saying a moment ago, it's not about being cruel. It's about the fact that a lot of people don't have the tools or know what it is to what the tools are actually to name what that problem is that's lying beneath that silence. Okay? A lot of people don't have that. Thank you, Chandra. Here's the thing. I, in my book, call it the 500-pound gorilla. Okay? It's that thing that just sits in the house. Everybody walks around it. Everybody knows it's there. Everyone knows it's there, and all it's doing is taking up space. It's taking up space, and it's growing bigger and bigger. As much as you ignore it, you try to ignore it. Everybody knows it's there, but nobody says anything. Okay, and this is the issue. Silent treatment is almost never about the dish left in the sink, the clothes left on the floor. It's never, very seldom is it ever about that. It's about something else. It's about feeling neglected. It's about feeling like you don't hear me. It's about any of those other things. Okay, let's see here. Before I get too far, I have some other comments. What if I say, I need a few days? Okay. I need a few days sounds more like a temporary separation. Okay. Let's just put this out here. Nobody needs a few days to get their ish together. No one does. I'm sorry. I don't care how mad you are. Here's the problem with that. The problem with saying, I need a day, I need to go away. The problem with that is that when you're in the heat of the moment and you take a moment to get away, an hour, 30 minutes or so, whatever it takes for you to calm down. The purpose of you getting away is simply to calm your emotions. It's not to make an exit strategy. It's not to talk to other people. It's not to plan some other stuff. It's about you just calming yourself down so you can speak rationally. If it takes 2 or 3 days for you to calm down, we need to talk about serious psychological counseling. Okay, there's some serious issues there. Let's go on. Communicate silence. Now, Janiyah says, what happens when you communicate, but the other person doesn't respect it? Now, that's a great question also. And here's the issue here. When you communicate your silence and the other person doesn't respect it, let me say this, and I said this over and over again. It's so important for you guys to get professional counseling. It's so important for you to sit down and talk to somebody to show you how to do this. Because for you who are on this call, you're learning tools, but for the people who you're in relationship with, they may not be learning the same tools. So no, when you communicate your silence, they may not know. So sometimes you have to be the teacher. Sometimes you have to let them know, listen, honey, I'm telling you that I'm silent. Well, I don't know. No, listen. I value our relationship. I want you in my life. And I believe you want me in your life. And I need time, just an hour to deal with this so I can come back and speak rationally. Okay? You're communicating silence. If the other person doesn't respect that, then that's a deeper problem. Because if you're not respecting my honest, vulnerable, open communication about what I feel and what I need to do to move this relationship forward, it's not a matter of you not respecting what I'm saying. It's a matter of you not respecting me. It's a matter of you not valuing me. It's a matter of you looking at me as though I don't deserve to be heard. That's a different issue totally. That's a completely different issue. Okay? So, a few days, no, unacceptable. No one needs a few days. Okay. So I hope I answered you, Janiyah. So what happens is if you find that you are constantly communicating your silence, and now honestly, the onus is on you also. If you communicate your silence, here's the secret. And here's the reason behind that. Communicating that I need time, right? And that person understanding that, and then you being consistent and being punctual and coming back when you say you're coming back. That's going to give that other person some kind of comfort and some kind of confidence that this can be resolved. Now, if you're communicating silence and you're never coming back, you're never giving defined boundaries as to how you're going to re-engage, that might lend to the other person not respecting you communicating. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I hope you got that. Okay? So, here's the thing. Silence doesn't require you to be vulnerable. And here's the problem with silence. You don't have to be vulnerable with it. It doesn't require you to say that hurt me. It doesn't require you to say I feel disrespected, or I'm scared, or I feel hurt, or I feel all alone. Silence takes that off the plate. Take that off the table. Silence takes that completely off the table. And silence lets you punish someone without ever having to be really known. So I can punish you without ever revealing my cards. I can punish you without ever revealing my heart. That's what silence does. And I think it's a horrible, horrible weapon. It is. It's a horrible weapon. Now, let me share this with you just for a moment. Silence, another problem with silence is that it withholds intimacy. When you are silent, you're withholding intimacy. And I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about closeness. Closeness comes from communicating. What annoys me is when people say, well, we're not communicating. We're not. Yeah, everybody, if you're talking, you're communicating. You're not communicating well. You're not communicating effectively. Okay? But when you become silent, it's akin to being apathetic. You're not allowing intimacy to flow. And that's another problem. Okay, let's, doesn't respect it. Okay, thank you. Chloe, pushing with silence makes the other person feel abandoned. Absolutely. And that abandonment can grow into resentment. Okay? That abandonment can easily grow into punishing, yes, with silence. It can make the other person feel abandoned. Abandonment leads into resentment. Okay? And that's something that you really, really, really need to understand. Because when a person does feel abandoned, you're saying here, when a person does feel abandoned, okay, because you've become silent, when they feel abandoned, then they have to start taking care of themselves. Okay? Think about it. You're all alone in a house. No one's around. What are you going to do? You're going to protect yourself. You're going to take care of yourself. Nobody's got your back. You feel exposed. You feel naked. You feel alone. You feel hurt. That's what happens when you're abandoned. Okay? So, hey, Coop. What's up, Victoria? All right, look, let's continue. So whose job is it to fix this silent treatment issue? Whose job is it? Let's talk about marriage math. Something I talk about in my book also, marriage math. Because both people are in this equation. So when it comes to fixing this situation, well, before I go there, here's the comment. My husband said no man would feel punished by their woman not talking. No man would feel punished. You know, that's okay. I hear you. And I know why as a guy he's saying that. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. That's crap. Don't buy it. Okay, Candace, bottom line is not talking. It might bring peace for a moment, okay? But when it comes to the kind of silence that's buttressed or that has a foundation of anger or a foundation of hurt, any man who is a house band, who protects his house and wants his family to feel happy and safe, they're going to be bothered by that silence. Now, am I okay sitting down sometime, my wife not saying nothing? Absolutely. Absolutely. We don't always have to be talking, right? But if there's some kind of discontent underneath it, that's when the problem happens. Okay? Silence, yeah. Dudes, we can live with silence for a while. Game is on. Love it. Let's be silent. Movie, let's be silent. Okay? I get it. But if there's an issue and there's silence accompanying that, that's a different problem. Okay. Not talking makes the husband nervous. Yeah, God, because we don't know what you're thinking. I know that's right. Yeah, so it's like, especially if you're mad, you don't talk. No, please. Say something. Be mad. Cuss me out. But don't just, look. No, don't cuss me out. I don't play that either. Okay, but let's get back to marriage math. Okay. When we talk about marriage math, whose job is it to fix this silent treatment thing? Here's the issue. We teach that irrespective of who started the problem, everybody has a percentage of that problem that they're responsible for. I need you to understand that. If you're the one going silent, your percentage of the problem is you withholding. Okay? That's your percentage of the problem. If you are the one who's receiving, your percentage of the problem is that you're not doing what's necessary to initiate reconciliation. You're allowing the silence to happen. Sometimes it might be, honey, I'm here to talk if you need me to. If you need to. I want to be a safe place for you to land. Okay. Is there something wrong? And I'm guilty of this. I don't always come across kind. My wife will tell me in a minute, you sound kind of rough right now. She'll tell me that. And that's cool. I need to know that. And when she does, I correct, don't I, baby? But when, she'll tell me that. And because if I don't always hear myself. But sometimes if I come across like that, if you're made as silent, you need to be the one who initiates some kind of reconciliation. If not, that's your percentage of the problem. So irrespective of who started the problem, everyone has a percentage of that problem that they're responsible for. Now, you might want to lie to yourself and say, no, that's all their fault. That's all their fault. No, it's never all their fault. So whose job is it to fix it? The one who recognizes it. The one who recognizes it. Some of you guys have been married for so long, in relationships for so long, that you've been stonewalling for so long that you're mistaking anxiety management for peacekeeping. You should get that. You've mistaken anxiety management for peacekeeping. It's not. Silence is not keeping peace. Managing your anxiety, that's not keeping peace. That's sweeping issues under the rug. And that will always come back. It will always come back to bite you. It will always come back to be something bad. And I want to share something with you from one of my favorite some of my favorite work out there by the Gottman Institute. In fact, let me say this. Okay, true. Shannon, what if you're not sure reconciliation is the goal? Is it okay to communicate desire to process before speaking? Absolutely. Look, there's no such thing as is it okay to communicate. It's always okay to communicate your feelings. if it's not a hostile environment. You got to read the room, though. If it's an environment where you know that if I say something now, I might get swatted, okay, different story. No, I'm not going to tell you that you always got to talk. What I am saying is that, is it okay to communicate desire to process before speaking? Absolutely. I need to process this before I say something. Now, before I go any further, let me say this. Sometimes we can be real slick with our communication. You know this. We can be real slick with what we say. We can say something, I want to say something, but I need to think, because if I say something right now, I'm going to hurt you. It's going to say, you know what I'm saying. We'll say something like, I need to think because I can't talk right now. Because if I talk right now, you ain't going to like what I got to say. That is not communicating that you need to process before speaking. Okay? Simple. Just simply say, I really need to get control of my feelings right now. I need to process what I'm feeling. And give me about 15 minutes, literally. And let's come back and talk. You don't need to throw no shade in there. Because the moment you throw shade, the person becomes defensive. Okay? And if reconciliation is not the goal, then, I mean, for both of you, especially if you're not married, and you realize the reconciliation, I don't know when reconciliation isn't the goal, but if you're in a relationship where reconciliation is not the goal, you got a different problem. First of all, why are you together? If your goal is not to reconcile, then you're only there to punish each other and make each other miserable. All right, I hope I'm answering what you're saying, Shannon. But I want to talk a little bit about the Gottman Institute. After 40 plus years of marriage research, they looked at silence, or rather stonewalling, as one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, what they call it. And they say that when they talk to a couple, and the couple is stonewalling. Now, stonewalling is a little different from silent treatment. Stonewalling actually is a communication breakdown where someone actually completely shuts down, refuses to talk, and he emotionally just separates himself out of the situation. They emotionally withdraws during a conflict. It's almost an involuntary withdrawal. It's not an intentional thing. Stonewalling is where a person has actually convinced themselves, they've almost conditioned themselves to shut down. Okay? Whereas silent treatment is almost an intentional. It's more intentional. It's the kind of situation where, you know what, I just ain't gonna say nothing. I know what I'm doing, and I ain't gonna say nothing. No, I'm being mean. I know I'm being an a-hole. I realize it, and I ain't gonna say nothing. That's silent treatment. Stonewalling is something different. Okay, it's almost like a involuntary thing. Now, both leave the person in the dark, but the Gottmans did this. They said that whenever they reached a couple, talked to a couple, and one of them had become conditioned themselves into stonewalling like that, there was a 90 to 93% chance that they would divorce. They said that it was almost inevitable because you are killing your communication. You are killing it. And it takes some serious therapy to get out of that conditioning. All right? It's not easy, because some of us are got to that point where we stonewall, and it's like just an involuntary thing. Okay, it's close. Yes, stonewalling is managing your emotions without concern for anyone on the other side. Yes, absolutely. It's like I don't, and like I said, it's not necessarily silent treatment, because silent treatment is more intentional. And stonewalling is more conditional. It's something that you've been conditioned to do. But only one of those is a weapon. And silent treatment is a weapon. Okay, stonewalling, you need help. Okay. Now, let me give you a 3-part instruction for combating this. Okay, or getting through it. Let me read this comment first, though. Wendy. Reconciliation must be the goal of 2 people, though. So what do you when, I thought she was Yoda for a second. What do you do when you want to resolve, but your partner gives silent treatment? Oh, you just answered, but it took too long to type this, so here. What? Oh, you just, Okay, fine. What do you want to do when you want to resolve but the other party gets silent? Okay, fine. Okay, I got it. When your partner, when you want to resolve your other partner, listen, this is the thing about resolving conflict. It has to be mutual. And my urgency to resolve is not equivalent to is not always going to be equivalent to your urgency. I may want to resolve right now because I have processed this thing and I'm ready to get beyond it. You're still processing. I cannot urge you or push you to resolve as quickly as I can. And I see this so many times in couples. Well, why can't he just get over it? You do not have the right to tell another person when they can get over it. That's not your job. Your job is to be there. You get over it. You deal with you. And to be there and help them get over their situation. Because there will come a time when the roles will be reversed. And they will get over it. And they need to help you get over it because you won't be so quick to resolve. Okay? All right. What if it's coming from your in-laws? Stonewalling. And here's the, Chandra, let me tell you this. In-laws are not... This is when your acting has to come into play. And look, I don't know if anybody will agree, any other counsel, whatever. I don't care. This is when acting has to come into play. Look, if your in-laws are stonewalling, but you and your mate are good, you and your mate are healthy, but that's coming from in-laws and such, your job is not to solve their emotional issues. Okay? We're going to go there because this is Big Mama's birthday. We're going to be there with grandma and whatever and all that. Y'all deal with it. Deal with it for a few minutes. Okay, deal with it for an hour, a day, or whatever. Okay, but it's not your job to resolve your in-laws' issues if they are stonewalling you. Sometimes we really want people to like us and No. I tell people all the time, couples, that you must learn to cocoon your relationship. Your relationship must be cocooned. Okay? It's you, your partner, your immediate family. I told my son this, who has just had our first grandchild. I told him, I said, look, you've started your own family now. And that needs to be your new cocoon. That needs to be your new nucleus. Before it was us. It was everybody. Then he got married and it was him and his wife. Now he got a child. That's their new nucleus. Okay? And you need to take care of that. He can't be concerned with me and my whatever, or mama, or what. No. I hope you got that. It's not acting if you're being the adult in the situation with your in-law, is it? Well, you know what I mean. When I say acting, I mean sometimes you have to put on good face. That's what I'm saying. You just exercise your emotional maturity. Absolutely. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. Okay. So let's do here. Let me give you these 3-part instructions for how to deal with stonewalling real quick. Okay. Number 1, don't chase. All right. Don't chase. Don't perform apologies for a crime you were never charged with. Okay. If a person's silent treatment, you need to give them their space. You don't even know what the issue is. So apologizing can feel vain. It can feel uninspired or disingenuous because you don't even know what the real issue is. You got to communicate the issue before you can see whether it demands or what kind of apology it requires. Okay? So number 1, don't chase. Number 2, name it plainly. I notice you've gone silent. I want to understand what happened. I'm here whenever you're ready to talk to me. I know you've gone silent. I can see that something's bothering you. I'm here whenever you need to talk to me. You don't have to guess what it is because you don't know what it is. Even if you think you know what it is, don't guess because it might not be that. Oh, you mad again because of that? Because of what that song? I didn't like somebody on IG again. Or you're mad? No, don't be guessing. Even if you're right, letting that person come to you and explain is a part of the healing process. Okay? And thirdly, If it becomes a pattern, that's not a communication gap anymore. That's a conversation about the relationship itself. Okay? And you might need a counselor or a third party in the room. If silent treatment is a pattern, it's not about a communication gap. That's an issue in the relationship, and you may need counseling. So don't chase it, because you don't know what the deal is. You got to communicate it. So don't perform apologies. Don't profusely apologize. I'm sorry. No, don't do that. Secondly, name it plainly. I know you've gone quiet. I want to understand what happened. I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. Don't guess. And thirdly, if it's a pattern, it's not about a communication gap any longer. There's an issue in the relationship. Get counseling. Okay? We're done. That's it. Our time is up. I hope you guys got it. Give me a thumbs up if you got it. Let me know. This whole silent treatment thing is very deep. Okay, do we any first timers? Yes, here who received our email campaign. Bring someone with you next Tuesday. Give us some topics, suggestions on. Yes, please. And I sent out an email. Thank you, honey. I sent out an email and also on IG to get some ideas, because we're going. All right, great, so great, you guys. To get some ideas as to some topics. Now, here's something we're going to have to do, and I need you guys to stay with me just for one more minute. All right. We've had this free for a very long time, and I've been threatening y'all and telling y'all there's going to be a small fee, a small subscription, okay? Not only do we have the lives, we also have communities that we're forming that are going to be inside the app, et cetera, okay? And the subscription will be, less than a hamburger. Okay, so here we are. Okay, we're at that point, and so within the next couple weeks, okay, you're going to see a change, and I want you to keep coming, keep supporting, because I think that the information that we're getting here is valuable, and this is a heck of a lot cheaper than signing up with us to counsel. Trust me on that. It's a heck of a lot cheaper. Okay. All right. Less than a cup of coffee for vegetarians. Okay, well, whatever that means. Any plans on Yes, Doris. We are going to have matchmaking services. That's going to come in the as a part of your membership also. There will be matchmaking services. Those matchmaking services they will be in the single part of the app. Okay, so we will be doing that, definitely. We're planning events, we're planning trips, we're planning a lot of things, and we want you to be a part of it. It's going to be all in the app. So get ready. This is going to be some life-changing stuff. Okay. Yes, renewing vows, girl. We got ideas. We got things that we're going to do. All right. God bless you guys. Love you so much. Can't wait to see you next week.